All right, everybody. So welcome to our 7th episode. Welcome to another exciting episode in Passive Investing in US Multifamily Show. I'm your host, Jefferson Ortiz, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jonathan Ortiz. We are here to partner up with passive investors to help them acquire large multifamily properties in the Sunbelt region in the Midwest. Now, today we have a very special guest who is an expert in the field of capital raising, multifamily properties, and much more. Go ahead, John.
That's right. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jazmin. We're thrilled to have you. Jazmin brings a wealth of experience and expertise to the table as a key member of the massive capital team. With her remarkable track record as a co-sponsor of 180 plus units in 2022 and as a limited partner for 170 plus units, she has established herself as a second real estate entrepreneur and investor. Her insights and accomplishments will provide a valuable knowledge for our audience of passive investors interested in multifamily properties. We're excited to dive a little bit more deep into Jazmin's journey and learn more about her individuality and contributions to massive capital. So welcome to the show, Jazmin.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm super excited to share with you and learn more about what you guys doing. We met last year and I know you've been very active, so I'm super excited to share this episode with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jazmin. So Jazmin, just for the audience that may not know about yourself, if you want to just give the audience a little bit of background on yourself, just a little bit about where you come from, how you kind of just dive into, kind of how you stumble across real estate. So just give the background, give the audience a little background. Where are you located? Give the audience a little background there.
Awesome. I'll try to be brief, but so I was born and raised in Mexico, and 10 years ago we decided to move, with my whole family to United States. And pretty much it was a tough time for me. I was 18 at the time. I was already going to college, building a couple businesses because I always wanted to have my own business. So I was already getting into that, and then out of the blues we moved here and pretty much start from scratch, start all over again. Didn't speak the language, being lonely, alone, didn't know what was gonna be next for me, and always feeling like this is not for me. Like I cried for 1 year every day, like this is not for me, I want to go back to Mexico. And it was a tough time, but at the same time, having the support of my family, my dad made a huge difference. And one of the things that he told me was like, I'm sorry that I'm putting you through this, but you are not the only one. Somebody in the same situation that you are is winning. So, go figure it out. And yeah, just pretty much I had to start where I was with what I had and work my way through, find a way. My first job at the fast food restaurant, getting my degree in college and all that, it was very challenging. But 4 years ago, I started in real estate. I was just saving money, all my jobs, and while I was in college getting my business degree and all that, I was just saving money because I was like, I want to have my own business. I didn't know what to do, but my dad was like, whatever business you're gonna open, you're gonna need money, that's for sure. And I'm like, well, you're right, I guess you're right. So I was just saving money, and then at one point I had like $45,000 in my bank account, and I'm like, what should I do? Like, this is enough to open a business or do something. But I didn't know what to do. So I was like, well, while I figure something out, I'm just gonna go ahead and purchase some real estate. It's better than having it on the bank. And I wasn't sure if purchase like a home, a duplex, Airbnb, all those things that you can purchase. So what I did was like, I'm just gonna buy a piece of land, and then later on I decide if I want to build or if I just sell. I'll figure something out. So for now, I'm just gonna buy a piece of land. Long story short, a few months after, I had the opportunity to do sales for a real estate investment firm, and I start understanding how the real estate world works, analyzing the properties and all that. And I was like, oh, hold a minute, I didn't get such a good deal on this lot. it was on the floodplain and all that. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sell it. So got it for 40, sold it for 45. And after that, I was like, well, now I have money. What do I do? I started doing that over and over again. And that's, I'm 4 years doing that. But last year I discovered the multifamily. I was like, what should I do, next after doing, because buying and reselling land is just like, growing your capital, but you're not really creating wealth in the long term. And I was like, what should I do next? So came across multifamily, and this makes a lot of sense. All the tax benefits, how quick you can scale, everything made sense to me. So I just went all in on multifamily.
Wow, that is some journey, honestly, and we can definitely relate. Like we mentioned of the topic where we talk about how we're actually from Colombia as well, and a lot of folks don't realize the massive opportunity that is to be in America, right? Like, it is a land of opportunities, right? Now, let me ask you, because that's really interesting. Now, your first acquisition was land, which is not everybody's first type of acquisition. Usually, people start with a single family, maybe the duplex. Now, you started with land. What made you make that decision to buy land as your first kind of property or investment?
So first of all, I didn't have the time to if I wanted to buy a single family fix and flip, I need to be there, because one of the things I understood is if you don't have any background on general contractors, permits and all that, they will eat all your profits. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have the background. I didn't have partners to do it with. So I was like, I'm on my own, So I was like, and also I wanted to keep growing my money. I was about to deploy all my money. So I needed to keep a job. So to me, this was I'm gonna put the money there. It doesn't require any work for me. I can still work in my W-2 job, getting my degree, while the money is safe and it's in real estate. So that's the reason why I decided to go with land.
Very interesting.
That's amazing.
You won't never go wrong with land, right? I mean, land is always going to be in demand. Now, for the audience, just to get a little background, Jazmin, where are you currently located in? Where in the U.S. are you?
Houston, Texas.
Very nice. Very nice. I wanted to say, Jazmin, very inspirational. It just goes to reflect your work ethic and your future as well. So that's very impressive. I wanted to dive deeper a little bit into your experience as a co-sponsor on some of your units and as a limited partner. We wanted to know what drove your decision to join and work with a team like Massive Capital.
The first thing, it was I was so clear on this is what I want to do next. Multifamily is what I want to do next. And I was just looking for the right people to partner up with. I was looking for somebody who I could leverage their experience, their track record. There's so many things, for example, I'm not analytical, I was if I wait until I understand the whole underwriting and I can take assets on my own, it's gonna take me 100 years. So I was just looking I was just looking for the right people to partner up with, and after that, I just started connecting with people who was located in Houston, wanted to have that accessibility. And I was pretty much just interviewing partners. Of course you don't say that, but it's I want to get in this, and just connecting with the players. And once I found Mike Bailey, I was I felt like our values were aligned, our mission, vision. And the most important, I feel he really was willing to take me under his wing. And most people are not like that. We are blessed in this industry, everybody's so open, but coming from other industries, you don't really see that. So I was looking for somebody who could help me, but at the same time, it's I want to add value, and I'm gonna go all in, so if I commit, I'm gonna give the best, and I just want to make sure that I'm with the right people, because you put a lot of time, effort, you say no to so many things and sacrifice so many things to be focused on that. So that's how everything started. I approached him and I told him I want to get in multifamily. This is the skill set that I can bring. To me, it's again, I just got to start with what I have. So I was my background is on sales. marketing, business, do you think I can add value to you? Because everything else, it was new to me. The multifamily world was totally new to me. But I was like, I feel like I can add value where I have. So that's what actually opened the door for me, just starting with what I had, the skill set that I had already.
Wow. I love the commitment, and I love that you said, you were focused. Like once you decided you want to do multifamily, you put everything else in the back burner and you said, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do whatever. And I think that goes to show you the difference between someone who wants something and someone who actually goes out and gets it, right? Like you didn't have all the answers, but you're like, you know what? This is what I want to do. Let me go and talk to the people that are already doing this. In your case, you found Massive Capital, which I know they're really, really good people in that, and not only from operators, but just the people in that group. I can align in. And I like what you mentioned about values and vision, and that it lined up, right? Because you can be in business. It's easy to get in. Like, it's kind of like getting married, right? It's easy to get in, but it's really difficult to get out, right? If you choose the wrong team or the wrong folks that don't, your values don't line up. So that's really good. Anything you want to add, John?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask what were some of the advantages and benefits of partnering up with an experienced team like Massive Capital for passive investors?
For passive investors, so first of all, like their track record, like when, and especially you guys know, like when we go to all these events where we met, and there's so many people who have deals, and one of the things that I see, like if you're new and I'm new, we don't know what we don't know, and as much as we try, and as much as of course we have the best intentions for ourselves and for the investors, because we are working with our money, but there's some things that we don't know. So to me, it's super important having a team that I can relay, that they know what they're doing, because I'm new, and going for investors, and it's a lot of responsibility, because you are asking for money. Most of the time is all their savings, all the retirement accounts. They've been working for years to have this money, or businesses, they are pulling capital out of their business to invest. I mean, we have good hearts, and we want the best out of it, but if you don't know what's happening, if you don't have a strong team, like the properties, and I see this every day, deals, properties, they can go south anytime. There's so many things that can go wrong, and you can hurt somebody, your investors. So having that strong team, not just acquiring the assets, underwriting, heavily data analyticals. Like this year, we already underwrote 350 deals this quarter. Yeah, like we are, like when we buy an asset, is because we 100% know what we're getting, and we are like every day we underwrite deals every day. We have a whole team doing that. So to me, when I go and talk to investors, it's like, this is what we've been doing. And when we bring a deal to you, it's because it's a good deal, and you're gonna invest with confidence, because you know what's all the work that is behind, all the team that is behind. As I told you, I don't have those skill sets, but I'm confident on the team that I am. So that's one of the biggest benefits for investors, passive investors.
Absolutely, and not just all the points that you mentioned, but the diligence. Right, the diligence is a huge part of it when it comes down to inspections, data, underwriting. So that's amazing to hear. Good for you.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And same thing with us, right? We did the similar thing as you. Like we joined a team. We said, okay, well, like you said, we're dealing with a lot of money. We're dealing with a lot of zeros. And the last thing you want is to, like you said, like somebody newer being in the industry and just going out and like locking up a property. But there's so much things that experienced operator might look at it and say, oh, maybe not that age, right? That could be something like you're looking at a 1960 property, where maybe it's better to get a 1980 property because you're not going to be able to sell it. That could be something that experienced operator might be able to tell you, like, hey, maybe stick away from that property and stick to this. And not only that, but then your investors are getting the best of the best deals, because it's like you said, the due diligence, everything that goes behind you actually get to the actual property has been vetted by a lot of eyes before it gets to the investors, which I think is crucial especially in this environment. Just to kind of switch things up, but still ask you something similar. Now, you mentioned your skills being in sales and being in marketing. Would you say, from the syndication team, your superpower is in the raising equity side of things, broker relations, asset management, obviously a mix of both? What would you say from your perspective?
So I would say, of course, it's investor relations. When I came on board, it's my background is on sales and working with investors. Of course, different skills. It was more single family, small multifamily, but that's what I can do best. And one of the things I will say that, and a common mistake that I see on people who want to get in multifamily is they want to understand everything. They want to underwrite everything. They want to do everything, and it's to me, it's yeah, that's great because you're going to be better prepared. But to me, it's I don't have time,
Yeah, like you said, it's going to take you 100 years.
Yeah, to me, it's I want to go, I want to start, I want to get myself into it, and then I start learning. Of course, now I'm more involved in the underwriting. I'm more involved, we have a couple properties that we purchased before massive capital that we are I'm personally operate. I have a property manager, but I'm pretty much operating those assets. It's an 18 unit and a 24 unit, so of course you get involved on a little bit of everything. But one of the things that I quickly realized, of course, I'm not gonna add value to Mike and Shar, massive capital guys on underwriting, because they are extremely good at that, finding deals. They have deal flow insane. Of course they don't need me for that, but one of the things is who doesn't need money for their deals? Everybody needs money. So when before meeting with Mike or massive capital, I was who doesn't need money for the deals? So if I can be good at that, it's just gonna open the doors for me to work with whoever I want.
I love it. And one thing that you mentioned, and I think kind of just want to touch on that, is that it allows you to focus on what you like doing and what you enjoy doing, right? Like you said, same thing with us. I mean, we can underwrite deals, we're analytical, but we're not, let's say an engineer might be a better fit for that position because they deal with numbers, they deal with spreadsheets. This is what they do and they feel comfortable in that role. Me personally, John, we really enjoy raising capital and we really enjoy broker relations, right? Just from our background with wholesaling, finding off-market deals, we really enjoy that aspect of it. So again, you get to enjoy what you like, and you get to partner up with other folks that help the things that you may not enjoy or that you're not strong at, which is really important. That concept. Now, okay, and now another question that I just kind of go back to what we talked earlier. Now you mentioned you went into multifamily, you wanted to get into it. Tell us about your first deal. Tell us a little bit about, maybe how many units, just a little background, anything you learned from that experience. Just tell us a little bit about your first multifamily property.
How did that process go? What did it look like?
So the first deal where I had equity, or the first deal that I invested, or the first deal that I raised capital for?
Let's do the one you did as an LP, and then maybe you can talk about the one as a GP, so we can transition from there to that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so one of the things is once I decided I want to partner up with massive capital, and these are the guys, is I also want them to know that I'm committed, that I believe in them, and here's my money. I want to drink the Kool-Aid, especially from investor standpoint. I want to tell them my experience, my story, this is why I invested. I was it's gonna build my confidence, not just with my partners, with everybody, investors and everything. So I just we had a deal. It was 174 units in Georgia. I had never visited the property, never been there. Class C property, add value, but I just, with my limited knowledge, at that point I was I really believe in these guys, and I'm gonna put my money, put $50,000. Of course, I also raised capital for that, and I just believe in the property, the market, what's happening, the growth that is happening in the area, and the experience of the team. We usually partner with strong operators. If it's a market that, like, for example, Massive Capital, we are in Texas. If we go to another market like this one in Georgia, we need to partner with strong operators of the market, so they have team, property managers, like they know the market more than anybody else. So that's what we did. I believe in it, and I was like, here's my money, put my first 50K and let's roll. So that was, and also it's like, when you talk to investors, you want to show them, it's like, have you invested? How much money the GP has? Like, we all are in this together. Like, we are investing along our investors. So that's very important, and that's how I did it.
Wow. No, and I couldn't agree with you more. Like, typically what we would do on our deals as well is we will invest alongside our investors because we believe in the deal, and you want to also enjoy that passive side of it, even though we are, and I know yourself as well, are on the asset management side, but you want to enjoy both sides of the coin, and like you say, you can talk the talk with investors because you've done it, you've gone through the process, you can go through that more efficiently and more thorough. Okay, and now I know you mentioned that was your LP, and then what about your first like GP, or you said you also raised for that one?
Yes, I did.
Because I guess that was a bit of a hybrid, so a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what would you say are some of the benefits as a passive investor? Now that we're talking about that, and kind of why is that something that you believe in, not only for with the operators, but also for the investors that are coming in? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's my final goal. Like, be 100% passive, just because you put your money and somebody who knows what they're doing, it's operating the property, adding value to the property. So you just put your money and it pretty much works for you. And that's my goal. Like, one of the things that I tell investors is like, if you and we're here for the long term, so if you invest today $100,000, in 5 years it's gonna turn in 200, 215, 250, depending on the deal. Let's just, for the sake of math, it turns in 200 turns in 400 in 800. So that's how the compound effect of investing starts happening. And the best part is, like, you are not doing anything, you just have your money and it's growing, and eventually you decide if you just want to retire or if you want to exit your W2 job or your business. Like, it's your money, it's already working. One of the things, like, last Friday we had a quarterly update with our investors, and we did a walkthrough. So everybody who was here in Houston and invested in that property, they came along. And we had fired like a month ago on one of the buildings. We lost 12 units, and they're like, oh, okay. And we told them what we've been dealing with, insurance, now contractors, all that. And it's like, that's one of the benefits about being a limited partner. First of all, we're not calling you and telling you this is what happened. Yeah, we send reports and this is what happened, but you are not in the mix. Like, you have a team that is doing it, and the most important thing is like making the right decisions for the property, because again, so many things can go south. So when you have an experienced team, they are handling the problems, because problems are gonna be all the time on any kind of business. What makes the difference is how you come up with solutions, and the right solutions for everybody in the long term. So that's like the biggest benefit for passive investors. The other one I will say is tax benefits. And that's another reason why I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in multifamily, just for the depreciation. Let's say you invest $100,000, at the end of the year you're able to do a write-off up to $65,000 if you're a investor, professional, real estate professional. Sorry. So that's a no-brainer. So that's another reason why I decided to invest, but there are so many others.
So many others, but no, you definitely highlighted some of the key ones, right? Which, like you said, is creating that lifestyle, right? That lifestyle where you're not involved in the day-to-day operations. You have a team that's dealing with that, professional operators, and you're enjoying what really, the true benefits of life, right? Enjoying time with your family, traveling, whatever that may be, right?
Or just growing your business, like focusing on, because something needs to, you need some cash flow to fund all that real estate. So if you have a business, you can be 100% focused on growing that business, scaling that business. Eventually you decide, I'm going to exit this business, I'm going to sell it, or, continue whatever, but you have the cash flow that is funding all your real estate.
Funding all your real estate, yes.
Right. Jazmin, I wanted to quickly ask you as we move towards the end, how important is it to your network, and how do you and the team at Massive Capital prioritize investor communication and address their concerns?
Networking is crucial on every single, we are in multifamily, we are in, but whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer, a dentist. The power of networking, connecting with other people, it's gonna be life-changing. Just putting yourself out there. Most of the time you just need to show up, and you never know who you're meeting. You are one person away of a completely different life, completely different income, business opportunities. Like, you just need to put yourself in the right rooms and, I will say, like, have clarity on your goals, what's next for you, then show up in different rooms until you find the right people who are gonna fast track your goals. Either if our real estate, business, personal, professional, just put yourself on the right rooms. And the second reason why I love networking is just putting myself around people who has done like 10 times what I want to do. Like, I have goals and dreams, but once I'm in a room where it's like, oh yeah, that's nothing, like, I have done this and that, and now these are my goals. It's like, oh wow, I was dreaming too small.
Very nice.
Hearing from other people, so you actually went through all this that I'm going, and you are making it happen. That's another power of networking. So I love that question, and everybody needs to network, no matter what your skill set, your goals are. If you're in real estate, of course you have to do it, but even if you're not, you are one person away of a completely different life. And the second part of the question, like, how important is the communication with investors? To me, is everything.
Crucial.
It's crucial because, so first of all, they are relying on us, on what we do. And there's so many things that, to me, it's like, everything is okay as long as you communicate. Like right now that we had fire, it's okay. I mean, I can avoid that, but I'm communicating. I'm telling you, we had fire, we lost 12 units. This is what is happening. This is what, everything that has been happening and how this is gonna impact you. To me, is building the relationship with investors, because like I said, I'm here for the long term. If you invest with me today, 100 turns into 200, it's not gonna really change your life. You may get a nicer car, but that's it. But if I'm here for the long term, to create wealth in the long term, to leave a legacy. So my goal is for you to invest over and over again and over again. And the only reason is just building that relationship, having communication. We have every month we send newsletters to the investors with what's happening. Quarterly we have a Zoom and an investor, like right now we did it live, and some of them were able to join, others just on Zoom, but at least we're telling them what's happening. They know that their money and what we've been doing with their money, where their money is going, and that's crucial if you're looking for a long-term relationship with your investors.
Wow, you touch on so many golden nuggets. I just want to kind of just go into a few of what you said, because I'm sure the audience is getting massive value from this. And now a couple, just kind of want to go back to network and how important that is, right? You seem to have a really strong mindset, and you seem to be in the right place. When I hear you speak, How much of that would you say is part of your mindset, and obviously, like you say, your surroundings, right? I'm sure when you got started, like many of us, you had a lot of limited beliefs. But I see you're in the room with Grant Cardone and some of the biggest players in the game. So how much is your network and your mindset have impacted your growth? Because you've grown tremendous, in terms of like how long you've been in it compared to how much you've grown. So how much would you say of that is mindset and networking?
To me, it's mindset first before skill set. And most people think it's a skill set first. Let me have money. Let me have a skill set. Let me understand it. To me, it's like if you have a abundance mindset, there's no limit. Just go get it, dream bigger, and go get it. Show up, connect, do all the things that are in your hands to achieve those goals. And when you don't have the mindset, how many people do you know that are extremely smart and they have a strong skill set, but they are just not doing anything with their life, or they are broke, or they are, you can mention 10 people, I'm pretty sure, each of you, but it's just the difference is just the mindset. There's more people I always say, like, I've been telling my story and putting myself out there, but because I want to tell people, dude, like, I didn't speak the language, so many barriers, and I did it. Of course you can do it. It's just the mindset. It's just committing to yourself and showing up for yourself, because nobody's gonna do it for you. Nobody's gonna come and tell you, hey, I have this opportunity in real estate, do you want to partner up with me? No, nobody. Everybody's busy. You need to show up, put yourself out there, and show people that they can believe in you, that you are confident and you are committed to your goals.
Wow. No, just that's I love it. I love those words that you're using as well, right? The commitment, right? How bad do you want it, right? Like you said, nobody's coming to save you. It's now during this journey of yours, Jazmin, did you have any like mentors along the way? I know Mike at Massive Capital. I know he's he's one of your people that you work with. Have you had a lot of mentors throughout your journey? And if so, again, kind of talking about what we're talking about, how much has that impacted your growth?
Yeah, so I'm in the Grant Cardone community. The first thing that I did was join one of his programs, having him and his whole team pushing me on not just real estate, but more on every single aspect, sales, marketing. Because to me, it's like I gotta start there, because all those skill sets, first of all, everybody needs them, like we all need them. And secondly, if anything goes out where I am, nobody can take away my skill set. I always tell people, like, work on the things that nobody can take away from you. Like, I was born in Mexico. If Mr. President decides he doesn't want me here anymore, I'll go back. But nobody's gonna take away my contacts, my knowledge, my skill set. I'm taking that with me, You
can still raise capital from Mexico.
Oh yeah.
No, I completely agree, and like I said, as immigrants, I feel like we've seen what's on the other side. We've seen what the other side of the world is, and like I said, being in America is just such a blessing, and I think that's not something we take for granted, to say the least.
Absolutely, it's been an absolute pleasure listening to you, Jazmin, and getting to know you a little bit deeper. I wanted to shift a little bit about the market and just kind of get your thoughts, I guess your own prediction, if you may say, but just wanted to get you to talk about the current market conditions and how you're preparing for what's coming, etc.
That's a great question. Of course, the main thing that we do is multifamily, and we've been seeing for the last year interest rates like skyrocketing, things that we didn't predict. Insurance double per unit. Here in Houston, insurance per unit it was on 600, 800. Now it's 1,400. So all those things are variables on the market that we're not predicting. Of course, thank God, and again, go back to the thing, like, my team is so strong that we're still cash flowing and we're still okay, right? But in these days, like, yeah, we're still buying multifamily, but it's very limited what we can buy multifamily that makes sense, according to our criteria. So we've been expanding the portfolio. We are very heavy on partnerships, and it's like we are strong on multifamily and operating, but now we are partnering with people who do new construction. We are getting into the triple net. We are merging with a company that we're gonna be doing triple net. So for us, it's like, if you wanna be a player, you need to be doing deals regardless of the market. There are so many things that we can control, but the things that we can control, we need to be doing deals, and we need to put our investors in their best deals. So sometimes apartments is very limited what you can do, but just having other options, partnerships with other people who are doing different things is what is, that's how we are approaching, and the next deals that we're having are towards that.
That's really interesting, and I like that a lot, because a lot of people may just be stuck on multifamily. Like something that we started kind of getting into ourselves is the assisted living space, and just kind of converting hotels into an assisted living. Just assisted living in general is just there's so much demand for the assisted living, and I don't know if you know, but there's, I think, close to 60,000 new baby boomers every day in the USA. So there's going to be even more demand as time goes by, and that's something that we started looking into, and the cash flow is insane, right? Just because of how much people pay to be in the facilities. So that's really interesting to hear kind of what you guys are working in the new construction. We've always looked at new construction, but we can't seem to really make, like, how does it make sense number wise? But I'm sure there's ways. I'm not exactly sure how, but I'm sure there's ways to still make it work. Now, Jazmin, tell the audience a little bit about what is a recent deal that you're currently either working on, or that you're currently raising capital for. Just tell the audience a little bit of kind of what you're working on at the moment.
So we have a triple net deal in Austin. It's gonna be like mixed use, where you have the retail in the first floor, they have apartment buildings second and third floor. So we already have one like that in Texas, in Fayette, Texas, but we're just doing more of that. We're partnering with a strong company. We're merging, actually, and that's their skill set. So I'm super excited, because so many opportunities are going to come to all our investors. Right now we have a deal as well in Denver, Colorado. Last year we entered that market, and it was our first property in Denver. It's been doing great, regardless of what's been happening on the market. Is performing above pro forma. Everything that we target is even performing even better.
Nice.
And now we have another property under contract that is like 5 minutes away. So we're gonna be able to leverage contractors, property managers. We know the rent road. We know what's happening in the area. So our investors are super excited. It's been like 3 weeks since we launched that property, and we're already 65% subscribed. So we all, one of the benefits about massive capital is that we have so many deals, and that's one of the things that I tell investors, like, connect with me, let's get to know each other, because I really want to put you on a deal that is aligned to your goals. Like, we have several deals, and when I put you on a deal, or I suggest a deal, is because it's aligned to what you are, what your goals are, where you are in the journey, and all that. So what we say is, like, massive capital is like going to Whole Foods. You have all this great investments, and then you just decide which one is the best for you. So, but everything is like handpicked. There's so much data, underwriting, so much work behind, in order for us to bring it to investors. So I will say that's why I said let's connect, and we can identify the right investment for investors.
I love that. That's very unique, and I know you and Massive Capital are crushing it, and you guys, like, I always see it, new deal, close on this, doing this. So I can see you guys are very active, and like you said, it's you're taking care of your investors, and like maybe not this particular deal, but maybe the next deal, or maybe a deal that makes sense for them, right? Because every investor is a little bit different. So wow, no, that's incredible. I'm honestly blown away by your tremendous success, and what an inspirational to anybody listening who is making excuses, right? Like, and something I kind of want to shift in something that you touch on is very important, which is being in the market, right? I know we talked about asset management. We actually have a webinar about that today. And what we're actually doing, as you know, we're in Canada, but we're actually looking to relocate to North Carolina. And the main reason for that is because we really want to be heavy on asset management and broker relations, and just overall, right, the market itself. That's kind of where we want to be, and that's where we want to be very active on. And I think you touched on it earlier today, how important it is being in the market and just knowing what's going on, knowing what the rents are, knowing what the bad areas, knowing what's the new development that's happening. So I just wanted to kind of elaborate on that, because I know you touched on it a little bit earlier today, and how important that is for the growth of your business plan.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially like this, we entered to North Carolina just because the partnership that we have, and these guys that property is performing 75% above pro forma.
Wow.
Which is insane, right? I was like, wait, but it's just like these guys. That's the they are in the market. They understand what's happening. They have the teams. They one of the benefits about partnering with Massive is like they already had that. You guys have something. Let's just accelerate what you have. Let's just help you grow. That's our goal. Build new GPs. Like these guys in North Carolina were that was their first new GP. Like we help them become GPs, but now let's accelerate everything that you have. We have LOIs pending in North Carolina, helping them grow what they already have.
Wow, I love that. And everything I've heard you say, there's a lot is helping. You're coming from a place of you're serving, right? You're helping your investors, you're helping other JPs, you're helping, people, tenants in the properties. Like you're coming from a place of help, and I think that is very important. And I know you'll have a lot of success because of the mindset that you have. John, did you want to say something?
Yes, we're gonna shift towards the end here, Jazmin, towards our fun questions. So we're going to throw some fun questions at you and just give us the best you've got. If you could invest in real estate anywhere in the world without any limitations, where would it be and why?
I know we didn't prepare
Texas. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Texas, just because I see all the growth that is happening here. I'm in the market, so many people moving. It's just like everything. It's a great market.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. And Dallas, Dallas is performing beyond what people expected, and it's growing tremendously. And I think it'll continue to happen. Texas in general, it's so big, right? It's so big. There's so much opportunity.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
That's exactly right. Okay, and the second question there, Jazmin, as like John said, we're wrapping it up, and we want to be conscious of your time. Now, we talked a little about your professional journey and accomplishments, but now for the second fun question, if you were to star in a real estate themed reality TV show, what would it be called, and what would be the premise? And I know you were in TV not long ago, so wanted to ask you about that too.
I will call it massive growth realty show.
Love it.
And I will talk about just the growth, not just professionally and real estate, but also growing personally, professionally, spiritually. To me, it's very important that people need to understand that everything is aligned. Everything needs to be aligned. And in order to excel to higher levels professionally, doing all these deals, our mind needs to be right. Our spirituality needs to be right. Everything needs to be aligned.
Wow. I love that, and I agree with you. It's like a complete person, right? Obviously, you got one side of the business. I know the other side, spirituality and health, which I know you're really big on. I see all over social media, which I know it relates to a lot of the success that you've had. You take care of your body, you take care of what you eat, you take care of your spirituality. Wow, that's tremendous. I like that a lot. Okay, so just the last question we have for you, Jazmin, and it is in regards to some of your goals, right? I'm sure you have a lot of goals. But for folks listening, what are some of your, let's say, 5-year goals? For yourself, for your company, for Massive Capital. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I have a lot, but one of the main is like I want to help 1 million women create generational wealth, but also grow on every single aspect, personally, professionally, and spiritually.
Wow, that is very meaningful and very impactful. So that's awesome. Okay, well, guys, that is the end of today's episode. So I'll just kind of last thing here. So obviously, we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart, Jazmin, for being on our podcast, sharing so much golden nuggets with our audience. I'm sure they got a ton of golden nuggets. And obviously, with your impressive track record and what you've been able to accomplish, 880 plus units and 170 units as a limited partner, that is really impressive. We truly are grateful for the knowledge and expertise that you've been able to share, Jazmin, and we're confident in that all the investors, and you're going to have a ton of success. For folks that want to reach out to you and they want to connect with you and they want to learn more about yourself, the projects you're working on, or just connect in general, what's the best way for them to contact you? I know we will attach the social media links, but what's the best way to contact you, Jazmin?
Yeah, the best will be visit my webpage, massive.capital/Jazmin, and Jazmin spells Jazmin. So they can have access. I have an ebook, where I tell my story about coming and start from scratch. I have that, and I have links to all my social media. Instagram is definitely the place where I hang out. So invest with Jazmin. You can find me on Instagram and all the social media as well.
Awesome, Jazmin. Thank you so much again for being here. We are tremendously happy to have had you on our show. And like I said, I know our audience got a ton of value from it.
Thank you so much, Jazmin. Thank you for listening. And remember, guys, to keep investing and building your passive income streams.